Hello world, welcome back to Raise RC. I'm going to do a build review of my B6.1D from Team Associated. I picked this up a week ago, built it over the weekend, actually got a chance to run it a few times this week, so pretty happy with it overall. But just want to give you a little rundown on what I saw with the build. Overall, the build went really well. No errors in the instruction manual as far as I can tell. I was missing one screw basically for underneath on the chassis rail here, but I had an extra, so no big deal. But did miss one part. Yeah, overall the build was really good. I did notice the plastics seem a little better on the B6.1. I also noticed that they moved the manufacturing to Taiwan from China. So you're probably wondering what's the difference between Taiwan and China. Well, they're two different countries. Taiwan actually generally is a little more expensive to do manufacturing there. The labor costs are a little bit higher, but the quality control I think tends to be a little bit higher. Most RC kits from the better manufacturers are actually made in Taiwan rather than China, and so I think there was a factory that closed in China, and that's why Team Associated moved stuff over, and that's probably also why there's been sort of a part shortage recently with Team Associated. So I'm just assuming that. But yeah, overall, actually the plastics seemed better. The fit and finish was really good. No issues putting the kit together. Nothing was mismachined. Didn't have to do any reaming or filing or dremeling or anything. So yeah, the parts quality seems really high on this kit, much higher than before. So pretty happy to see that. Now, some build notes. There are some differences I noticed between this and the B6. I thought the front end was exactly the same, but it's actually not. There's different part numbers for the front bulkhead here. So this top plate and basically this front camber block are different parts now. And I think the reason they did that was basically to add additional clearance here for the top plate. If you saw my B6 review video, I did talk about how I had issues with this drag link basically running into this top plate here, and I did have to do some drumming up top. Well, now it seems like there's tons of clearance, so there's no issues there with actually hitting. So it's nice to see that they actually updated that part and that addressed that issue. Other stuff I noticed was that the steering links actually no longer have an angled ball cup. So I think with the +1 arms, you don't need the angled ball cup, so they're just two straight ones. You can get full steering throw, you won't run into anything, so nice to see that. A little bit of change there. The shock towers are also actually different. You wouldn't think they are, but they actually are different. The arms are the same. Still got the gull-wing arms and the straight arms. I'm actually testing out some flat arms right now, but the shock towers are different. If you look at them, they look different. Even the flat shock tower is slightly taller than the regular B6 shock tower. Obviously they also have this nice little cover. So shock towers are different, and you will not be able to use your B6 shock towers. As you can see on my kit, I did run some aftermarket parts, so stuff that does carry over. The steering bell cranks, the aluminum version here I've got mounted on. These are some Shell +1 steering arms, which actually match exactly to the stock B6.1 arms. I'm just running these because they were carbon fiber, and I pulled them off my B6. Yeah, other than that, the kit looks really good. Some other things I noticed with the build, for whatever reason, and shout out to my buddy Mike who noticed this, there's a little bit of float in these pistons. So the front pistons, when you kind of wiggle the shocks up and down, you feel a little bit of fluttering with that piston. So they're not actually tightened all the way down for some reason. Maybe there's a tolerance issue, or maybe they're intended to do that. For whatever reason, the front shocks have that problem. The rear shocks do not. They're nice and tight, no fluttering. Those pistons are nice and snug with the set screw and the shaft. So something else I noticed. Another thing I noticed was actually with these rear hubs. So one of my other complaints about the B6 was that the plastic hub inserts here tended to break way too easily. They were too thin. I did notice they actually thickened them. They're a little more durable, so hopefully will hold up. I'm actually running aluminum ones just because I happen to have an extra set lying around, so I threw those on. But that is a difference, and nice to see that they are addressing the things, at least that I called out in my video. I don't know if they watched my video, but that's something I noticed, and I'm glad to see they addressed that. So some things to watch out for in your build. Number one, this is the same as the B6, but the front axles, they use a little screw basically to hold them on. The screws are steel, the axles are aluminum. You definitely want to clean off the screws with a little bit of motor spray before you put a Loctite on them. Make sure you Loctite them on good. I've definitely seen a lot of people have their axles fall off because they were not Loctite properly. In general, anything with like a set screw that you're going to Loctite, I do like to clean off with a little motor spray because those steel screws tend to have a little bit of machining oil left over on them. Transmission is a three-piece affair now, so it's got a right half, a left half, and actually this top piece that goes right on top. So it kind of bolts all three of these together, and as you can see on mine, I did not fit it together perfectly. So the instructions call out to basically screw these things together and then just bolt this on top. But you know, I'm going to tear this apart and actually kind of massage it a little bit, make sure I get everything perfectly lined up. My drivetrain's not really binding much or anything, but I can tell it's just not perfectly put together. So be careful when you get that, and make sure everything is nice and lined up. Other things I noticed, again, shout out to my buddy Mike, is that the drive axles and these CVAs actually have two different holes you can bolt them on. So with the B6.1, they're running 67mm drive shafts. As you can see there, upside down, 67mm. The B6 has 65mm drive shafts. And actually, these axles can accommodate both. So you can basically mount the axle in more if you're running the longer drive shafts, or out more if you're running the narrow drive shafts. So depending on which axle you're using, which hubs, you can actually adjust that. So that was pretty cool. What else is going on? Oh, I did notice the C block also has a little bit changed. Might be a little bit hard to tell, but that C block right there, you can actually see it's got a little gap in it. I don't know what that's for. Maybe it's to help with the hinge pins not shredding the C block, but they put a little groove there in the C block. A little bit interesting. And as you can see, also they have aluminum D blocks as well. So nice to see that update. Other than that, really the last thing I guess I noticed was that underneath, actually you can't tell because it's full of dirt now, but you don't actually have to use these two holes. They're full of dirt, so you can't really tell, but those two holes are not used for the transmission. I think they're used for the stand-up transmission that they have, but for your build, you're not going to have to use those. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Overall, very happy with the kit. I thought it went together. Actually, one of the best Team Associated kits I've put together. Just the quality of the build of the material seems better. The instructions were fine, and altogether very happy overall. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'm going to do a review video of this as soon as I get some more time on this kit and have more thoughts on how it performs. But overall, it seems like a winner to me. It's driving really well. The build was really good, and you know, I think Team Associated's got something on their hands here. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel as always, please. It does help me out, and look for more videos soon.